Well, hello, and welcome to Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes Grand Arena Championships, Season 25, Week 3, Round 1. My name is Boma Fett, trying to be a little bit more zen. This new GAC has me a little frustrated, so I'm just trying to stay calm and go with the flow. I'm 3-3 at the moment, having faced mismatches in every round. Players with more galactic legends, higher galactic power, and way more relic levels than me. Let's see who my opponent is this round. Zekk Tuainne. Let's go to the hotbot for a quick comparison. So I just want to show you a few factions that are a bit under-geared. Starting with the 501st. You can see the clones are all Gear 12 or below, including 5s who's only at Gear 9. The Bad Batch hasn't really been touched yet. Here in the droids, you can see that Grievous and most of the Separatist droids are still Gear 12. We've got a Relic 5 Maul and a Relic 5 Jango Fett, Relic 5 Sabine Wren, but the other two members of this squad are a little under-geared. You've got a Gear 11 Armorer, and I guess you'd put the Gear 10 Mando in there. I don't think you'd go with Gear 8 Canderous, and your regular Mando should go with your Bounty Hunters. So it seems a little bit strange to me to take your Maul all the way up to Relic 5 when you don't have the rest of the squad developed yet. Here's a faction that I think is probably overdeveloped, and that is the Phoenix. Now he actually has the Omicron on Hera. It's a TW Omicron, so it won't affect the GAC. But we've got Relic 5s on Sabine, Ezra, Kanan, and Hera, and Relic 4 on Zeb. And you could argue that Sabine is useful as part of that Mandalorian squad, Ezra and Kanan as Jedi can be used on Jedi squads, and Zeb and Hera as Rebels could be used with Mon Mothma or Admiral Akbar or some other Rebel squad. So it's probably not pointless to have them reliced up like this, but it is just a little surprising. It's not something you see every day. So Zekk definitely has a good roster, but there are a few unusual choices that have been made here. Now you can see we're only a few hours into the attack phase, and Zekk has already attacked. Zekk attacked pretty much immediately as soon as the attack phase started. So let's see what Zekk did against my defense. So you can see all 3 of the squad zones are cleared. We've got one-shots all around here in the top zone. One-shots here in the bottom zone. And one-shots in the back. In the ship zone, Zekk has not attacked yet. So I imagine they're waiting to see what I do against their squads, and if they don't need to attack ships, they just won't attack there. And if they do need to attack, they'll wait and see exactly what they need to score in each of their fleet battles. Now, Zekk's score is a 1382. If you do the math, that comes out to 62 banners per battle. That's pretty good efficiency. So I do have my work cut out for me here. Let's take a look at his defense. In the top zone, we've got Kylo Ren unmasked, that Relic Phoenix squad, Padme with Cat, and Qui-Gon Jinn, and it is Omicron Qui-Gon. In the bottom zone, we have Mothma, Grievous, Rey, and interestingly, Rose is not with the Rey squad. Instead, Rose is with Jedi Training Rey, and Rose does have the Omicron. So after looking at the rosters, I took a break and then came back later to do my battles, and unfortunately had a technical issue where my voiceover recording did not record. So you're getting voiceover after the fact. I started off against Rey, and I took Basti out of the squad and put in Shaak Ti. Now I actually prefer Basti here because of her ability to ability block. She can keep Rey ability blocked and prevent so many whirlwinds, but I really wanted Bastila to go with my Jedi Knight Revan this round. So I swapped in Shaak Ti. And I just hoped that between Jedi Master Luke and Old Ben, I would still be able to keep Rey ability blocked as much as possible. So my main goal at the beginning here is to get Rey into damage immunity before she gets to her ultimate. So I start with an efflux, that ability blocks everybody, and then I'm going to put the Master's Training onto Jedi Knight Luke, and then I want to spread the teachings around as much as possible. That's going to get my Jedi Master Luke to his ultimate. I got the stun there with Jedi Knight Luke, and now here with Old Ben, I don't do the wipe because everybody's already ability blocked. So I just call Shock T to attack, and I keep spreading those teachings as much as possible. Now Rey is out of ability block, but I have to wait for Old Ben's turn to come around before I can apply an ability block. Now she's getting close to her ultimate, so I'm trying to get her into damage immunity before she gets that ultimate. So here I'm debating, do I do the wipe or do I just have someone attack? And I'm going back and forth in my head, what do? I eventually just had someone attack. I figured she was going to go into her ultimate soon anyhow. You can't ability block that. So now it's just, again, trying to get the ultimate for my Jedi Master Luke. Unfortunately, I did not get Rey into damage immunity before she went ultimate. So we're still going to have to do that when she comes out of her ultimate. Everybody survived the ultimate. So now I should do the ability block. But I didn't. I taunted. I'm not sure why I didn't do the ability block there, but I should have. I got the efflux, though. That ability blocked everybody but Rey. So I am able to keep the ability block up on most of the squad, at least to this point. Now I've got my ultimate, so now I could stop targeting Holdo, but like a numbskull, I continued to target Holdo, and that gave Rey a whirlwind and she killed Old Ben, but I was able to very quickly get Rey down. So once Rey is down, this battle is well in hand. I probably could have just put it on auto, and I would have been fine. I do have to get each of the characters into damage immunity in order to get rid of them, unless you can one-shot them, like I did to Poe, like I did to Finn. But now both Holdo and Vet Chewie are in damage immunity, so now I've just got to wait for them to come out of damage immunity. So Holdo is out, but did I realize it? I did not. I kept attacking Chewie. So I don't know what I was thinking here. I just didn't realize Holdo had come out of damage immunity. I wanted to kill Chewie first, so I guess that's why I kept attacking him even though he was in damage immunity. Now luckily Holdo was so slow that she didn't even take a turn here. I just keep attacking Chewie until he comes out of damage immunity, and then the efflux kills them both. I got full banners for the characters who were surviving, but of course I lost 3 banners because Old Ben died. Next up is Grievous, and this is a basic Grievous comp, and it's undergeared. So I decided here to take my Night Sisters. This is only going to get 60 banners, but for me it's worth it because it means I get to save better squads. So the key here is just get the Plague out as quickly as possible. You want to get the Plague on the B1, and then the Plague just eats the B1 really quickly. You expect a lot of your Night Sisters to die. In fact, it kind of helps if a lot of the Night Sisters die, as long as it's not Old Daka, because Old Daka will keep reviving them, they will keep assisting from the grave, and the more sisters die and come back, the greater Daka's health pool gets. So typically with a Relic Grievous squad, I would already have characters that had died completely and would be assisting from the grave. This actually took a little bit longer because they were undergeared. Now we've got the buff immunity on some characters there. That's not great, but honestly, it's not that terrible. As long as Daka survives and Daka can keep rezzing people. I don't like the damage immunity on Droideka, so I get rid of that. The big concern is a big hit from Droideka or from Grievous on Daka. So getting rid of that damage immunity, that helps to lessen Droideka's big hit. The big hit isn't as big if the Droideka doesn't have damage immunity. There, Grievous just wasted that hit on the zombie. This may kill both of them. Yep, both of them died. There's a big hit against Talzin. Bring them back, and that's it. 60 banners. Next up was the Mon Mothma squad, and for this I took in my Imperial Troopers. We have a couple of Gear 12 characters on the opponent's squad there, and Pow actually had very low hit points. So I knew I could take out Pow pretty quickly, and that would get the turn meter train rolling. So, put the Emperor's Trap on the Dark Trooper, and then just go to work on Pow. Punch, punch, he's gone. Now after Wedge. Stomp, stomp. There goes Wedge. Now Lando. You can see I'm avoiding using the AoE until I get to Piet's AoE because it dazes. And the reason for that is that Biggs gets an attack anytime he's damaged, but he doesn't get that attack if he's dazed. So an easy 65 there. Now, instead of taking out this JTR squad next, I decided to go up to the top zone. I wasn't really worried about what was in the back. Normally I like to clear the bottom zone so that I can see what's in the back, but I was not expecting good squads back there, so I decided to go up to the top zone and take out the squads that I was more worried about. And the squad that I was most worried about was Padme with Cat. And so I took in my Jedi Revan here. This usually works no problem. You can expect Cat might delete somebody, but you've got Jolie there. As long as she doesn't delete Jolie, you should be fine. Because Cat's insta-kill is not an annihilate or a disintegrate. You can still resurrect people who Cat has killed. My big issue was that I didn't have a good fifth to go in here. I ended up taking Ezra. I maybe should have taken Kanan because he could taunt, but either way, it wasn't great having to take a Gear 12 character in here. And this battle just did not go as planned. I start off by marking Anakin. That's the right move. You want to get rid of him as quickly as you can, but I just underestimated how hard they were going to be hitting. With all of them at Relic 7, with the extra offense from Cat, they just were devastating my squad. They procced Savior very quickly. I do the smart thing. I stun Anakin. I'm not calling assists. I'm doing single attacks only. There's a double tap from Ezra. Single attack from Yoda, and Anakin's gone. Things are going great right now. But it doesn't last very long. I go after Padme next, and then goodbye Revan. And now I do something really dumb. I try and steal their buffs to spread them. They all counterattack, and Yoda dies. Now I rezzed everybody. Hooray for Jolie. I'm waiting for Revan's next mark to come around, but in the meantime, I go after Padme. Once you get rid of Padme, the rest of the squad is pretty easy to kill. So I go after Padme. This is the right thing to do. The insta-kill went against Ezra. I was actually very, very pleased with that. And now we get the mark here against Padme. But the problem is they all have protection up that gets converted to courage, and then they just devastate my characters. So you'll see, here comes a big attack. that goes against Jolie, and Jolie is gone. And once Jolie is gone, so at this point, it's pretty much over. I'm not going to get through Padme before they're able to take out these two characters. I debated actually exiting the match, but with Anakin out of there, I knew I needed to save this result. Having Anakin out would make the cleanup easier. But you can see they were hitting for tremendous amounts of damage. So with Padme still alive, this was going to take a really good squad to clean up. So that means taking in my CLS squad here. Now CLS was a squad that I was going to use against his Jedi Training Rey squad. Now I almost completely misplayed this. I stunned Cat, that was a good move. And now you just pound on Kenobi, and anytime an AoE comes up, you rely on the AoE in order to do damage to everyone else. But you're going to notice throughout this that I take some shots at Cat or at Padme. Because if you can get them close enough to death, then a big hit from one of the characters will knock them down more than the protection up will help them. And so I keep taking those shots, but this squad is just so well modded that it actually backfires on me. I'm never able to take away more damage than the protection up gives back. So it was poorly played, but you'll see I do eventually stop doing that. At least I hope I do. The way that I remember it, I did. But we just keep pounding on Kenobi, keep pounding on Kenobi. And you're never going to get Kenobi down, but here, I take a big shot at Cat. Barely took any health down, but now she's got all that protection up. Roar and do the AoE, and it does very little damage to Cat because she has the protection up. So it's dumb to do those in-between shots if you're giving them protection up, because it prevents the AoEs from doing their job. So I just really misplayed this. Trying to get 3 stacks of Translate on everybody so that their cooldowns get reduced more quickly. Here I take a big shot at Padme. Didn't do any good. So you can see I've almost got Cat down to half health. AoE. You can see me debating, and I finally did the smart thing and just shot Kenobi. So I did eventually realize, stop taking those shots at other characters. Just stick on Kenobi and let the AoEs do their job. I was getting a little bit worried that Cat might get her insta-kill. But in all honesty, they haven't taken very many attacks at all. They haven't taken very many turns. I've got such a turn meter train going with my CLS squad that they are just not getting turns. So I've got Cat into the yellow now. AoE, I've got her down almost, she's probably around, what, 30% health now? Almost into the red. Keep pounding on Kenobi. Keep pounding on Kenobi. Another AoE here. She's in the red. Oh, we got the counterattacking. The counterattacking gave her protection up. That's one of the dangers here. Keep them blind. I took a big shot at Padme when I shouldn't have. It's frustrating for me watching this back and watching all the mistakes that I made. AoE. You can see, I mean, Cat's got barely any turn meter. I don't know what I was worried about. But I'm under a minute to go now. Let the AoEs do their job. 42 seconds, 40 seconds. Finally got rid of Snips. 30 seconds left. AoE gets rid of Padme. Once Padme's gone, now we can just go to town. And there we go. Really poorly played, but 43 banners nonetheless. Next up is the Qui-Gon squad, and it's kind of a weird Qui-Gon squad because it's got Jedi Knight Luke, who is a slow character, so he's not going to get a huge speed bonus. Now I took my Gas squad in here because of Jolee. Gas will prevent the revives. I can just basically ignore Jolee. I've got to go after Qui-Gon first, get rid of him. So there he goes. Now they're going to hit hard. But again, Luke is not going to hit that hard because his speed is low. You want to take faster characters with Qui-Gon if you can. So Old Ben's going to die just because I keep counterattacking him. Now I'm going to go after Luke finally. I put the turret on Echo. Form up. See, he didn't even do much damage there. Now he is getting a lot of counterattacks, and so he will eventually make my Skywalker sit down, but he's just not doing a tremendous amount of damage. So now the counterattacks are going to go against the clones. I switched over to Basti because I noticed the counterattacking and wanted to avoid that. In the meantime, Luke is healing up a little bit. And once Skywalker's back up, I go back after Luke. The AoE got rid of Basti. Goodbye Jolee on the counterattack. The Rexecute didn't do much to him. And there we go. 62 banners, which is not terrible with a Gas squad. Those were my main two concerns in that top zone, so I decided to go back down to the bottom zone and take on this Jedi Training Rey squad. Now, I was really unsure what to take here. I wanted to do my CLS, but I had to use them on Padme, so I decided on my Empire. I actually probably should have taken in my First Order with Hux, because Hux would prevent the turn meter gain, basically negating Rose's Omicron. Instead, I went with this Empire squad, and it didn't go so great. So, as expected, the droids are going to go first, and then the two Reys, and Palpatine is gone just like that. I do my Force Crush and go into Merciless, but you can see there are not a lot of debuffs there. So I probably should have thrown my Saber here at Rose, but instead I just did a basic, and I ability blocked her. But if I could have gotten rid of her, I could have gotten rid of the Omicron. Instead I throw at BB-8 and didn't kill him. I got the counterattacking there and the assist from Scav Rey. So I'm doing really good damage here with Vader. But no debuffs on JTR, just none. So now I debate getting rid of Rose. I should have gotten rid of Rose, but I was more worried about Scav Rey, so I attacked her and didn't kill her. And now Rose does good damage, and bye-bye Mara Jade. So back to Vader. He's really my only hope here. I get rid of Rose finally. Now I should go after Scav. And I did. But we're down to Rey and the two droids, and that's still a very formidable trio. Especially at the relic levels they are at, the speeds that they have. These are very fast characters. Goodbye Gideon. Now they're going to be hitting for full power. And because my debuffs had not been landing, I decided to go into Merciless first and then do the Force Crush after. And you can see, only got debuffs there on R2, but he was the one I had been targeting, so I couldn't throw my saber at him during Merciless. So after Merciless, I threw it at BB-8 instead of R2, who had all the debuffs. So definitely some misplays here. Thrawn was ability blocked the whole time. I never got to fracture anybody. So very, very poorly done there. So I decided to go back up to the top zone and take care of the squads there first, and then I would come back to this squad. And so up in the top, I decide to go after the First Order with my own Jedi Training Ray. And yes, there is a Hux in that opposing squad, but he's gear 11. I figured I could kill him relatively quickly, and then I can just take care of the rest of the squad the way that JTR normally takes care of First Order. So of course, Kylo Ren unmasked starts off taunting. You have to wiggle and wave, but I didn't get the bonus turn meter for Rey, so I didn't get her wave right away. I was a little bit confused, actually, until I remembered what was going on. I did the burning, and then Finn got a turn, so I'm getting a little freaked out. Am I ever going to get rid of that taunt? But there, it just fell off, so now I was able to go after Hux. I got him stunned. He doesn't have advantage. He needs advantage to stop the turn meter gain. I put the wave on crew. And now I go after Executioner. As long as Hux is stunned and doesn't have advantage, he's not stopping the turn meter gain. Little wiggle there. Go for the stun on OG Kylo. I didn't get it, but I did on the counterattacks. So now I finally decide to just take out General Hux. And now First Order Officer. And finally, we just have the two Kylos. I put the healing immunity on Kylo Ren unmasked. Go for the stun and get it. So now it's just smooth sailing from here. My characters are all healed up. I'm just going to put this on fast forward. So 65 banners there. Now after that battle, you would think that I would have in my head that Hux prevents turn meter gain. Let's go back down to that Jedi Training Ray and we can shut them down with First Order with Hux. Did I do that? No, I did not. Instead, I decided to go with my Bad Batch. Now, is Bad Batch a bad choice here? No, Bad Batch is a fine choice here. But my Bad Batch is a little bit undergeared. There's a chance that they could kill one of my characters before I ever get a turn. So again, they're going to go first. They're TM loaded and they're faster. And I've got a taunt on Wrecker, and so they go straight after Wrecker, and they almost wreck him. I finally get a turn. I'm able to dispel all of their buffs. That gives me a ton of turn meter. So at this point, I just need to get that defense up so that I can get true damage. I roll out the grenade to stun them. You can't stun JTR. Wrecker swings his battle droid around, gets the defense up for my characters, so now basically every special becomes an AoE. A non-attack takes out BB-8, the assist takes out Jedi Training Ray, and then goodbye R2. 41 banners. We lost a couple of banners there on Wrecker, but at least he survived. So now to see what's in the back zone. We had Ewoks, Beskar Mando, and Kira Scoundrels. I actually was expecting a Bosk squad back here instead of the Beskar Mando squad, so I was a little bit concerned. I didn't know if I'd be able to take that squad down or not. So I went back up to the front zone. Against this Phoenix, I wanted to use my Wampa, but I knew I couldn't take Wampa alone, because those are high relic Phoenix. They're going to hit hard. Zeb is well modded, and so he's going to be able to stun and stagger. So I decided to do Geonosians with Wampa, kind of an odd combo, but I figured this would spread the damage out enough to give Wampa a chance to go in there and do his Wamping. Now, lest you think I was worried about nothing, check this out. Sabine rolls her bombs, she gets staggers and exposes on a bunch of my characters. We go right after her, and they just delete the brute. So, I'm a little bit worried at this point. There's still some staggers and exposes out there. I've got a bunch of them exposed, though, too. I should have probably switched off of Sabine and hit some of those exposes. That would have been the smart thing to do. She almost just deleted my soldier. And then Ezra almost deleted my alpha. And you can see as I'm attacking her, she keeps gaining back health. So that's because of the shared unique with Kanan. So it's going to take a few big hits in order to get her down. You can see Zeb just almost deleted the alpha again. Finally, somebody hit Wampa. Put the armor shred on him, though. That's not great. So I heal up. I bring back the brute. Maybe this will be the turning of the tide. I keep going after Kanan because he's the one that's providing them with that healing. So here I finally get a big hit and I take out Sabine. Now I go after Kanan. Again, his healing is what's making them difficult to kill. So I got a big hit there from Wampa. But then these smaller attacks actually heal him back up again. He's dazed, luckily, so he's not hitting back. But he's actually a lot like Kylo Ren unmasked. So again, a big hit from the spy is what's going to be needed in order to take him out. Once he's gone, now I'll be able to chew through the others with the smaller attacks. So we go after Ezra. Kanan is also the one who gives them the counterattacking. So they're going to counterattack a little bit because that's just a Rebel thing. Rebels counterattack. But it's Kanan who makes it so that they counterattack all the time. And now that Kanan's gone, they're not going to get that. You can see that I'm able to chew through Ezra. The healing immunity there from Wampa probably also helped. I do have that Zeta on Wampa where he roars. He can put healing immunity on the opponents. So the big hit from the spy is ready to go, but I'm trying to actually draw this out a little bit now in order to get some healing. So when it comes around here, I actually take out Hera so that I can keep pounding on Zeb a little bit more. He's a little bit sturdier. I think I've got almost everybody healed all the way. Maybe the alpha is missing a little bit of protection. And 64 banners. So it was sketchy, but it worked. So now to check out the fleet zone. See there, we've got a home one and the Malevolence. And look at the droid ships there. 3 stars and 4 stars. That's the best Executor counter, and it's underdeveloped and on defense. So I switched back to the character zones, went after Beskar Mando next, and I took in my bounty hunters. The idea is to get the quick contract and then disintegrate Mando. So started off with the Roar, and then the mass assist. We went after IG-11 trying to stun him. Didn't get the stun. So then switched over to Cara Dune. I didn't want to take anybody too low on health because I didn't want Beskar Mando getting the bonus Whistling Birds. And now she's got 4 debuffs on her, so I just delete her. Now with Aura Singh, I go for the stun on Nest and didn't get it. But Nest didn't get to hit back because my aura was in stealth. I try for another stun on IG-11. I did get it this time. And then delete Beskar Mando. Another Roar. And now Nest is going to be the biggest pain. I should heal up here. I did. That's good. Go after IG-11 some more. Got some ability blocks, that's great. Just trying to get through IG-11. I probably should have killed Queel first, but I'm not that bright. Really, this was giving me something to hit while I waited for the Disintegrate to come back around so that I could Disintegrate Nest. But we ended up killing IG-11. Should have gone for the big hit here against Nest, but instead I took out Queel. It's okay, most of my squad is stealthed, so the only one that Nest can attack is Bosk. I got the stun there with Aura, which is awesome. I've got her modded for potency so that she can get those stuns. She's only, I think, 5 stars. And here, big hit with Boma Fett. Takes her out. Didn't even need the Disintegrate. 65 banners there. Next up is the Ewoks. Now there's no Wicket here, so that means a little bit lower DPS. But I was still a little worried. They're Gear 12. They are very well modded. Low grade does have some pretty good potency. And so I didn't really want to do a Nest solo. So as you can see, I decided to go with Nest with Watt. I've never done this before, didn't know how well it would work. Let's take a look. Now, I wasn't sure which tech to put on Nest. I could have done the weapons tech, that would keep them from reviving. That probably would have been the smart way to go. But my main concern was just keeping Nest alive, so I went with one of the other ones. I'm not even sure which one. Probably the wrong one, whichever one that was. So I just put this on auto, and I'm going to fast forward. So there is the days from Low Gray. I did say that Low Gray was well modded for potency, so that was one of my concerns with doing a solo. Now they did kill Watt, so the banners are not going to be the greatest. So 64 banners, that's not terrible. I'm happy with that. And now what do I have left for this Kira squad? I do have First Order, but instead of that, I decided to go with Dash Rendar. This is my first time using Dash. He's only 3 stars, Gear 10, and the rest of the squad is not very good. You can see that Young Han Solo is only Gear 8. Kira's only Gear 10, so I decided to take Young Han out and put in Lando Calrissian instead. Now my Dash does not have the Omicron, but everybody starts with Prepared, including Lando, who doesn't normally get Prepared. I don't know Dash's kit at all, so I'm reading the kit. Go with a big hit there. I got Daze on everybody but young Lando. Now I've got some staggers. AoE just wipes out half of the squad. Really amazed at how well this worked. Now granted, this is not a great opposition squad, but it really made me want to develop this squad a lot further. So really quick, really easy 65. Now at this point, we've both cleared the squad zones. I'm down by 23 banners. So I dropped 2 battles, he dropped none. But I'm going to be able to beat his fleets, and I'm not sure he's going to be able to beat mine. So we start off against the home one with the Malevolence. And ships are one of my least favorite parts of the game, just because there's so much RNG in these ship battles, and we just don't have a lot of options. It's ridiculous to me that they introduced the Executor when we had only, 7 fleets? That's like introducing a galactic legend when there were only 7 squads in the game. Could you imagine if they had done that? Well, that's basically what they did for ships. It's just ridiculous. So, Rebels getting lots of assists. I get the buzz droids out, but didn't get them on Ghost. So I kept going after Ghost. I don't like Ghost. Ghost has an AoE. Eventually I switched over to Biggs because he had the buzz droids. But I didn't get the assists that I wanted. So I think that that's that visual bug that's been happening for months and months and months, where it looks like someone has buzz droids, but they don't. So here I got the taunt on the Ghost, got the mass assist, and took out the Ghost. In comes the Phantom. I've got the taunt on Biggs, call the mass assist there, and goodbye Biggs. The Phantom is not a real tough ship, even with those Relic Phoenix. So it goes down quickly. Now we just gotta try and get rid of the Falcon before another reinforcement comes in, but of course a couple of dodges later. And now watch their Y-Wing land the shield disruptor. When you have Y-Wing on offense, it almost never lands. When it's on defense against you, it almost always lands. Luckily, it was not a great ship. Got rid of it quickly. Put the buzz droids on the Falcon. Call the assists and goodbye Falcon. So 71 banners, I'm fine with that. Now against the Malevolence with my Negotiator. You would think that years of doing this in the arena, you would remember it all, but for the last, 6 months, I've been fighting Executors instead, and so I may make a few mistakes here. I went after the Hyena Bomber first. Again, remember that their Hyena and Vulture are both low star. They get out the buzz droids, so I bring in my Plo Koon to clean those up. And then I do something stupid here. I should bump turn meter, but instead, I use the cleanse to get rid of the target lock that was on the Y-Wing. Why was that dumb? Because it prevents me from cleaning up buzz droids on the Y-Wing later. So there are those buzz droids. Next time Plo's turn comes around, I should be able to cleanse those. But I used the cleanse already because I just had a brain fart. I forgot how to play this match. So I'm stuck attacking Sunfac here. Call the bombing run. You can see I've almost lost my Y-Wing. I'm going to do the AoE, and luckily that cleared everybody. So 72 banners is not terrible banners, but it could have been better. So 1688 was my total. Now I just had to wait to see if Zekk Tuainne could beat my fleets. Did he have a counter for the Executor? Alright, so there's the win against Zekk. Let's take a look and see what they did against my ships. 1 out of 2 squads still remaining. So it took Zekk 3 battles to defeat the Executor. The Executor is as dumb as any galactic legend, and Zekk just does not have the counter for it. You saw the Malevolence on defense, and his droid ships were both, I think, 4 stars, so he just doesn't have the Malevolence counter for the Executor. But he did manage to get it down in 3, so that's respectable. But that left him very little then for the Finalizer, and he was not able to defeat the Finalizer. So 1688 to 1425 is the final score. I do think that Zekk may consider putting Rose with Rey. Now, I lost to Jedi Training Rey with Rose, but imagine if Rose had been on the Rey squad, they would have been gaining so much turn meter that my guys wouldn't have gotten very many turns at all. So maybe if you're going to put that Omicron investment there, use it to its fullest advantage. Put it with Rey, make that Rey squad nearly unbeatable. And I certainly learned a valuable lesson about not underestimating Rose, and I also was reminded that when Padme has Cat on the squad, just do the same thing that you always do. Kill Anakin first and Padme second. I made the mistake of going Anakin and then trying to go after Cat. You need to take out Padme. Once you get down Padme, then you can call all of your assists and you can get rid of Cat quickly. But even had I played it smart and gone Anakin and then Padme, there's no guarantee that I would have won that battle with my Jedi Revan. They were all higher relic than mine, very well modded. So in the future, I think maybe I just take my CLS. I need to trust in the AoEs to make the kills and not go for the big hits. That almost cost me. But in the end, I did come out on top, 1688 to 1425. I would like to thank Zekk Tuainne for the match, and thank you all for watching. I will see you in the next round.